you can sing. Kia ora and welcome. My name is ZoeStibi and I am your vocal coach for today because we're going to be taking a look at Lola Young with her cover of Manchild by Sabrina Carpenter. She's amazing, and I just wanted to say I really hope that she's recovering well. I've seen on social media that she unfortunately has had to take a big break from her performance, so I just wanted to put that out there into the world and just say, Lola, I'm thinking of you. I'm sure this is a very stressful situation for you, but I really hope that you focus on your health and your well-being because that's all that matters and absolutely everyone can wait. So let's see what she was up to with her vocal technique in the BBC Radio Live Lounge.
You said your phone was broken, just forgot to charge it. Whole outfit you're wearing, but I hope it's ironic. Did you just say we're finished? Didn't know we started. It's all just so familiar, baby. What do you call it? Is it stupid? Or is it...
She's so fantastic, is she not? Like, I just absolutely love everything about Lola and what she, the way that she's grown as an artist. And I've been watching some videos of her when she was, started performing, and there were some things kind of surfacing out there of her early performances, and you can just really see the evolution of her as an artist. So Lola actually commented on one of my videos, and I was just like, blown away fangirl moment, and said that she actually suffers from a vocal fold polyp. So this little cracking that we're hearing coming into the voice will be the polyp and the consequence effect on the voice, because unfortunately a polyp is pretty much like a blister on the side of the vocal folds, and it means that they don't quite close properly. So you get that coming in just as we're getting the kind of the contact, and then they're coming into a thicker vocal fold contact. Let's go back on that.
Hope it's ironic. Did you just say we're finished? Didn't know we started. It's all just so familiar, baby. What do you call it? Is it stupid? Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless. But that's a cute word for it. I know. Manchild, why you always come running to me?
Gosh, she's just such a fantastic singer. Wow, I love the way that she's able to make such big changes to her voice. But don't worry, I'm not going to make this video like a whole bunch of Lola Young, you're fantastical. So let's just go back on that. They go dun dun dun. So we've got this quite spoken on pitch part of the voice there. Relatively low effort in terms of the volume, but that doesn't mean that the effort hasn't gone into the practice in order to get her to this point. Let's just watch that again.
You said your phone was broken, just forgot to charge it. Whole outfit you're wearing, but I hope it's ironic. Did you just say we're finished? Didn't know we started. It's all just so familiar, baby. What do you call it? Is it?
So is it? She's look, this is just what happens when you end up going to the very end of the phrase. Da 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 da. You started. Is it? If you don't necessarily have the time in order to take on those breaths, it kind of adds a little bit to the show as well. And you have to think about the speed at which they have to learn these songs for the live lounge. It's not like they have weeks and weeks and weeks of notice in advance, and they're learning a cover of someone else's song. So maybe it's not necessarily like sitting in the voice 100%, but I love the way that she's making this song her own.
You said your phone was broken, just forgot to charge it. Whole outfit you're wearing, but I hope it's ironic. Did you just say we're finished? Didn't know we started. It's all just so familiar, baby. What do you call it? Is it stupid? Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless. But that's a cute word for it. I know. Manchild,
absolutely, honestly, Sabrina Carpenter is such a fantastic songwriter, and I just love that she's expressing herself in that. I love like Lola's version. So we noticed that the head's going out, Manchild. So when look, you don't have to reach the head upwards, but that can help us to maintain that thicker vocal fold context. So that's actually an exercise that I do here in the studio, getting students to look up at the ceiling in order to stop that forward movement of the larynx. Getting my words right, get a bit confused. There's like to stop the forward movement of the larynx because usually we go Manchild and flip into a falsetto if that ends up happening.
Useless, but that's a cute word for it. I know, Manchild. Why you always come running to me? If my life, won't you let an innocent woman be? Never heard of self-care.
Okay, so we can obviously hear these like skips in the note and things like that. And I do just want to address it to say that, I said in my last video with Lola that I didn't actually know what was causing it. But as I said, she commented, and I'm so happy that she did, to say that she had a vocal fold polyp. Now, a vocal fold polyp can, just like we experience a blister, just like we experience an injury when we may be playing sport or even sometimes just walking down the road, vocalists can experience the same thing. And actually the vocal folds are just as small as your pinky fingernails. So they're teeny tiny, and they're going under a lot of stress. And you have to imagine that especially a young artist like Lola is really taking every opportunity she can and probably going a little bit, harder than she needs to in terms of like, that sounds really terrible, but probably doing more than she's actually able to do. So as I said right at the beginning of this video, I really hope that she's in the best of hands and recovering and having that time to take a bit of a rest, because it's so important. And one thing that you don't, as the audience, know is that the pressure on her to make this count is huge, because really as an artist, when something goes as big as Messi did, you have to take that opportunity and run with it. And she's been doing this for a very long time. Like, don't just think that Messi is like, that's not the beginning of Lola Young. She's been around for a very long time and working on this. And I'm just so happy that she's had this opportunity to, be promoted and to get out there. The pressure is huge. We hear a clear sound when she's singing loud, though. We'll talk a little bit about in the next break about why that is.
Won't you let an innocent woman be? Never heard of self-care. Your brain just ain't there. Manchild. Why you always come running, taking all your loving from me? From me, yeah. From me.
So you can hear that from me. You can hear that closure of the vocal folds when she's getting louder. This is totally typical because when we of nodes, any type of vocal injury, when we put a little bit of extra pressure, more vocal fold closures, to say that the polyp is happening here, if I've got more vocal fold closure, more pressure there, it's going to help me to close the vocal folds. That's why on louder sounds, it always kind of seems like, often, can't say always, but it often sounds like there's no injury there whatsoever. The knock-on effect is, though, that it causes more vocal fatigue because we're using more pressure and more effort than we really need to be using. So often the muscles will wear out a little bit quicker.
Why so sexy if so dumb? And how survive the earth so long? If I'm not there, it won't get done. I choose to blame your mom. Manchild, why you always come running to me? If my life, won't you let an innocent woman be?
So we can see the Manchild she's kind of pulling the tongue back. I love this position of the camera because you can really see the tongue position when she's singing there. Pulling back on the tongue, that's called tongue compression. That's actually bunching up the root of the tongue like that is going to cause a darker sound. Won't you love the one that on me? So we're just turning on the it's kind of like a little bit of what Shakira does as well, and that's darkening the tone. So interestingly, when she's going into the bridge section here, we've got quite a clear tone. We'll talk a bit in the next break about why that is. Let's just watch that again for reference.
Why so sexy if so dumb? And how survive the earth so long? If I'm not there, it won't get done. I choose to blame your mom.
I love that. I've never heard this song before, I don't think. Maybe I have, but I don't listen to the radio. I love it. I'll have to listen to the original. It's like, you know, you have to know that Lola actually attended the Brits as well, at the Brits School in London. And that is actually a place where they have lots of different styles of music. And they have very good vocal coaches at the Brits Schools. And a couple of my colleagues do teach there as well. The Brits School is a publicly funded school, so it's completely free to go there. And often, but it's hard to get in though. Yeah, it's very hard to get in. But you do have, most often the students will also then go to private vocal lessons as well to kind of just get that little bit of extra. But I don't know, obviously, if Lola has been. So Lola, if you're watching this, did you go to additional one-to-one private lessons? I'd love to know about that. But we've got a little bit more of a thinner vocal fold contact there, but we still have to, again, because of the polyp, we're not hearing any scratch, we have to get a little bit thicker than thin. So, but anyway, they go ba-da-da-da-ba-da-da-da. So we've got a little bit of narrowing going on there. Da-da-da-da. That kind of brightness to the sound is what's giving us that narrowing of the AES narrowing in order to help the vocal folds closed.
Why you always come running to me?
There you go. Why you always come running to me? You got that darkening on the E because you've got quite a wide open vowel there. So you can afford to, and a lower note, so you can afford to really pull the tongue back.
Why you always come running to me? F my life, won't you let an innocent woman be? Never heard of self-care. Half your brain just ain't there. Manchild, why you always come running, taking all your love from me, from me.
So we can hear there as well that the tone is kind of going in and out. Now, this is something that a lot of people come to me and they're like, Zoe, I really want to learn to sing like that. And I'm really sorry to say, like, as much as we can teach you how to sing with like a little bit of effect, this sort of thing, this is actually physiological going on inside the vocal folds. So no, you're not going to sound like this. Is very similar to, for example, Miley Cyrus or Steven Tyler. You know, some of these singers that we do kind of like covet their amount of gravel in their voices. You have to understand what's actually going on behind the scenes, and that level of sort of, we call it grit or gravel in the singing voice, that crackle that you can kind of hear. I also call it a bit of crackle. That actually causes quite a lot of vocal fatigue. So you can hear that at the beginning it sort of started off quite strongly, and now we're kind of hearing that the voice is getting a little bit tired. This can quite often happen. Stamina in singing is something that we do need to train, but this will be a physiological thing with the voice itself. But she's managing it very, very well. You can hear she's then going to quite a lot of breath and going down at the end of the range. You can hear that she's saying quite, from me, and she's lifting the chin up a little bit there in order to, I'm assuming, and I can only guess this, obviously I'm not Lola Young, is to stop the flipping that wants to occur, because the vocal folds themselves don't actually want that much pressure behind them. So that's actually something that you might be experiencing in your own singing. You go like, and no, that doesn't necessarily mean, well, It probably doesn't mean that you have a polyp, okay? I'm not a doctor, so I can't say that. Haven't looked at your own voice, but that's actually called the passaggio, and that's something that we can train into the voice. But that's a coordination of a whole bunch of muscles, and it really requires like one-to-one instruction in order to get the most out of your voice. So you can check out the link in the description below to book in for a free discovery call. We can talk about your vocal goals, because this really like needs to be addressed in one-to-one singing lessons.
I like my men all incompetent, and I swear they choose me. I'm not choosing them, amen. Hey man, oh, I like my boys playing hard to get, and I like my men all incompetent, and I swear they choose me. I'm not choosing them, amen.
Oh my goodness me. I love the way, I'm going to say this again, I love the way that she's really making the song herself, like her own. Her own. She's obviously singing it own. So you can kind of, she's really got the cry going on there. We need that in order to go further up in the range with those thicker vocal folds. It's going to help us because going into that primal feeling of the cry and the moan and kind of having a bit of a complaint is going to really help us with the larynx to tip it forward in order. It needs to be that, to do that in order to sound more like singing. Otherwise, it's just going to sound like we're yelling our faces off. And you can say, won't you turn a woman out of me? You know, she's got these lovely puckered lips going on. Elongating the vocal track's also going to darken the sound.
My men all incompetent, and I swear they choose me. I'm not choosing them, amen.
We're going to go back on amen. You saw the lovely bunching up of the back of the tongue there, coming very high and far forward. Oh, let's just watch this little, you can see here, beautiful caving of the tongue. We've got quite a lot of tension in there, and the tongue is really responsible in order for making those micro adjustments, which I have to say we are not aware of. Okay, we're not really aware of them in terms of like thinking mentally about what the fuck our tongue is doing, okay? As opposed to what some people say here on YouTube. Seriously, everybody you see here on YouTube is talking about singing. Go and question their credentials for God's sake, okay? I see the most ridiculous shit going on here on YouTube. Not to say that what I say, I'm not, you know, I'll get on my soapbox a little bit later, but please, 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 anyone that you're seeing for singing technique and singing, question their credentials. Go and have a look. What have they done? It's not just that they're a good singer. You've got to go and see where are they teaching? What have they taught? What qualifications do they have to actually teach you how to sing? Okay? Because I've been doing this for 18 years. It's a hard job. And my ideas about singing teaching have changed a lot. But don't believe everything that you see. I feel like I don't need to say that, but I really do. Don't believe everything you see. So many of these like big names here on YouTube, they are not singing, like they're not singing teachers in terms of like actually having learnt how to communicate the technical points of singing, okay? It's not just about being a good singer. So, and often some of the singing teachers that are out there, they don't necessarily sing professionally anymore because they've just basically like, committed themselves. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox. So I love that cry. Let's watch it again.
I'm not choosing them, amen.
go. Oh my fucking God, Lola, you can sing. We knew you could sing before, but I love it. You can see they're cool, calm, and collected in the jaw. We're not getting lots of extra movements. I'm not saying that singers who do a little bit of extra stuff are not maybe putting it on. We know, for example, Ariana Grande moves her jaw around a little bit. That should really have nothing to do with the sound, though. It shouldn't be changing the sound, okay? That's sometimes just something that happens when we have a little bit of extra energy going. But this is a very, very well-trained singer right there. Won't you let us set I can't do what she's doing. I wish I could in some respect, in some way. And some of it, I'm just like, because I know what it's doing. You know, like you can hear. So a little bit of that constriction going on. You notice that she's choosing those moments when she's doing them, then she's letting go, going of it again. And it's really not happening in those really, really high high parts of the range. I feel like I need to stop this video. I'm like losing track of my words.
Why you always come running, taking all your love from me?
You go, taking all your love from me. We're squeezing the back of the throat. That we have to make it tight in order to make that sound. But it's about not pushing air and putting additional pressure underneath the vocal folds in order to achieve that sound. You're probably going to say to me, because I saw that there, Zoe, but you said about the tongue, and then the tongue is moving there, and like, what on earth are you wrong? The larynx needs to move for the pitch that we're talking about. The tongue will move, but we're not consciously aware of what the tongue is moving. So I don't even want you to try to be consciously aware in each of those notes of what the tongue is actually doing. That's something that we're going to be talking about actually in a podcast episode that I'm talking with a myofunctional therapist all about the tongue and the role that plays in pitch and the larynx. So subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more about the tongue position in singing. Jessica is an amazing myofunctional therapist and she's going to be on the channel in a couple of weeks. I'm really looking forward to our discussion all about the tongue. I'm so excited. So you can see that little bit of tongue movement going on. Again, it's not, Lola is not going, I'm going to go tongue here, 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 here. No, that's not what's happening. It's the larynx movement, the movement of the pitch that is causing that tongue movement.
Oh, me.
That's something you probably won't be told in singing lessons. Okay, from me. So you're going to, in singing lessons, learn about like all the basics. And then you're going to learn about like the next level and the next level and the next level. And the idea is essentially, I always like to call it this huge color palette of singing. Okay, so you've got this massive color palette. And then you have to be the painter. And you have to decide in the end what colors you want, what do you like, what do you not like, and to evolve with your taste. Rather than going to someone and be like, you're going to tell me how I should sound. That doesn't happen at all in my vocal studio and in the Vocal Academy. We are all about helping you to create the sound that you want to create while basing it on your actual voice so you still sound like you. Because really when it comes out into the world wide of music, you are your greatest asset when it comes to sounding different. And that's why we're wanting to hold on to that in the essence of all of our vocal technique. It's not about like putting on a sound or imitating someone. So, oh my goodness, Lola, absolutely incredible performance. She is an amazing artist, and I really hope that she has a long and wonderful career with her singing. So she did actually comment and say that she did have her vocal fold polyp removed at one stage and it came back. And that can be then a case of going to speech and language therapy. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to make any suggestions for Lola herself, but we do want to be looking into what is causing these things within our voices. So if you've had long-term vocal issues, I want you to go and check it out with a doctor, have a camera put down there. Make sure everything's going well, because sometimes it's not actually going on here. It could be coming from a different part of the body. And that's what we're learning about singing, is it's not just about just here. It's about looking after us as a whole. So I need to hop into my next lesson. I want to say, check out some more Lola up here. And if you're struggling with your singing, I'm here to help. There's some freebies down there, as well as access to one-to-one singing lessons, because that genuinely is the only way that you're going to get better at your singing. Stop with these online courses. Stop with all of these downloads of like going, oh, I'm going to do 500 different vocal exercises. You need to be shown for your goals what you need to do, when you need to do it, and for how long you need to do it. And that's what we're going to help you to do, all while maintaining your own voice. Okay, that's what we're here for. I'm just going to get off my soapbox now, and I'm going to say, you're amazing. Happy singing. Ka kite rau.